In these verses, Guru Nanak Dev Ji describes many religious actions. These religious actions were prevalent, and Hindus and Muslims alike performed them to gain favor with God. Which actions does Guru Nanak Dev Ji describe? Asankh Jap. There are infinite ways to recite. Asankh Bhao. There are infinite ways to love. Asankh Puja. There are infinite ways of puja or worship. Asankh Tap Tao. There are infinite ways to do tap or punishing penance on God's name. Asankh Granth Mukh Ved Path. There are infinite granths or religious scriptures, Mukh Ved Path, that are being recited again and again. Asankh Jog Man Rahe Udas. There are infinite ways of yoga by which people try to remain detached from the world. Asankh Bhagat Gun Gyan Vichar. There are infinite Bhagats or devotees of the Lord who Gun Gyan Vichar, through divine knowledge, attempt to reflect upon gun or virtue. Asankh Sati, Asankh Datar. During Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, Hindus, when a wife's husband died, they asked the wife to jump on the funeral pyre. In this way, they declared the widow to be a sati, and they tried to gain the favor of the gods and goddesses. Asankh Sati. There are an infinite number of satis. Asankh Datar. There are infinite number of people who are datar, or who give to charity out of their own money. Asankh Sur Moh Pakasar. In the Muslim faith, it is considered a great religious action to die on the field of battle. Asankh Sur. There are infinite warriors or Sur who Moh Pakasar take the blow of the sword right in the moh or right in the face. In this way, they strive to attain martyrdom. Asankh Mon Live Lai Tar. In the Jain faith, it is common for monks to remain silent. They are called Munis or Mon. Asankh Mon. There are an infinite number of people who try to remain silent, and in this way live Lai Tar. They try to focus their consciousness on God. All of these religious actions are described by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. These are people who are on the path of God. Guruji then says, Kudrat govern kaha vichar. How can I do vichar? How can I reflect upon your kudrat or your creativity? You have placed people on so many different paths. Varya na javan ek var. I cannot be a sacrifice to you even once. How can we decide which religious action is fruitful? In Gurbani, there's a fundamental principle. Ad jugad ves har eko, mat gurmat har prab pajya. From the very beginning, God has had one fundamental principle. Mat gurmat har prab pajya. God can only be fruitfully worshipped in light of the Guru's mat, or in light of the Guru's teachings. The last line is the key. Jo tud pave, sai palika. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, only that religious action which pleases you is the favored religious action. Through Gurbani, we learn which religious actions or by what characteristics God is not pleased by. Har jio ahankar na pavai, ved kook sunave. God is not pleased by egotism. If any religious action leads us into ahankar, into home, then it is not fruitful. God is not pleased by this action. If by reading Asankh Granth, our egotism is not removed, if by remaining silent, our home does not go away, if by attaining martyrdom on the field of battle, our inner egotism has not died, then God is not pleased. In one Shabad, Guruji explains, Paat padyo, ar bed bicharyo, nival poyangam sadhe, panch janasyon sang na chutkyo, adik ahang buddh badhe. If by doing Paat padyo, ar bed bicharyo, if by doing part of the Vedas and reflecting upon their meaning, panch jana syo sang na chutkyo, we are not freed from the five thieves by this action, and adik ahang buddh badhe. Our egotism is only magnified because we did not do what the part said. Pyare in bid milan na jai. O loved one, this is not the way to God. Main kiye karam aneka. I have tried many religious paths. This is not the way to God. The way to God is removing ahankar, or removing the maya within. In one Shabad, Guruji says, Etan maya pahya pyare, litara lab rangaye, mere kant na pave cholada pyare, kyo tan seja jaye. When the body cloth is stained by maya, it is not pleasing to God. Then how can the devotee be united with the Lord? Only by removing home, only by removing maya is God pleased. And there is one action that can remove us from the bonds of maya. Har jap maya bandhan tute. By reciting God's name, the bonds of maya are broken, and thus the body cloth becomes pleasing to God. In one line, Guruji summarizes, Gurmukhe bhagte kare prabh pave, an din naam vakhana. Through the Gurmukh path, or through the Guru's way, bhagat kare. Do devotional worship of God. Recite God's name. In this way, prabh pave, become pleasing to God, and an din naam vakhana. Day and night recite God's name. This is how we can become pleasing to God. This is the religious action, reciting God's name, that is pleasing to God. Jo tod pave, whichever religious action is you are pleased by, or whichever religious action removes the home within us, sai pali kar. That is the favorite action. Tu sada salamat nirankar. And I forever salute you, O Lord.